Donald Trump's announcement has ignited the streets of the Islamic world. Since Wednesday, there have been daily protests in Cairo.
All those here believe in a unified Arab consciousness. We reject Trump's decision. We reject this ignorance of historic rights, of international law, and of the rights of our Palestinian brothers. Jerusalem is an Arab city, the capital of Palestine.
The Arab people will not surrender. Some leaders have failed us by remaining silent, others by conspiring with the US. If our leaders hand over to Jerusalem, we will protest. The Palestinian issues remain priority for us. We're here to tell the world that we will defend Jerusalem, no matter what.
On Friday, mosques countrywide dedicated prayers to Jerusalem. Here at the Grand Mosque of Al-Azhar, the world's biggest Islamic studies university, Asian and African students have joined Egyptians to defend the city they view as the Palestinian capital.
This is a conflict about existence, not a conflict about borders. We will fight for every inch of this land. The Arab people will never forget our holy city.
People are angry, even in European countries. Jerusalem is an Arab city and must be recognized as the capital of Palestine.
It's a temporary lift to the protest ban that Egypt has imposed, and a rare opportunity for the people to express themselves. And they are saying no to any manipulations to Jerusalem. It shall remain an Arab and a Palestinian city. And if anything, Trump, America, or any other country try to change that fact, they will unleash their rage in the streets of the Islamic world. Adel, Mahrouky, CGTN, Cairo.
Let's get you an update now on the regional response to that Jerusalem controversy. I'm joined live from Cairo by CGTN's Adel Mahrouky. Adel, of course, we know that the emergency Arab League meeting is currently underway. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, foreign ministers are arriving, trying to reach a unified position, and what many are hoping to be an escalation in their responses. Already they have condemned the attack, the Trump's decision. They have condemned and rejected his announcement to officially recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Now, what is beyond these statements? This is what many here in the Arab world are waiting to see. It's a big test for the Arab League. For a long time, it has been accused of releasing just statements which have made it quite weak in terms of having any actual political power in the region. But what has been coming out from the League during the past week, several statements about Jerusalem, all indicate that there will be a harsh statement, a very strict response against Trump and against Israel to move beyond what has been an international norm, is to decide the fate of Jerusalem based on talks between the two people, the Palestinians and the Israelis. And now the Arab League all are looking at it and waiting to see what will be the reactions, and hopes are that it might be something different than the regular condemnation statements that many in the Arab world are used to.
And as you rightly point out, the question is what happens beyond the condemnation. Is there a sense that the Arab League is united in taking decisive action over the US decision?
Well, so far, there hasn't been any indications or even any suggestions leaked, which is uncustomary, or at least it means there are none on the table. Usually when such meetings happen, we get some information about what are they discussing, what possibilities will they be voting on the foreign ministers, will they escalate, will they start to boycott, to put political restrictions on the relations with the United States. It's still not clear, but so far it doesn't seem that there is anything significant there they've been planning for. At least nothing has been officially announced yet.
And of course, as we saw from your report there, Egyptians on the streets protesting Donald Trump's decision. But we know, of course, that Egypt is a key ally of the United States on the diplomatic front, as is Saudi Arabia. Do you think Donald Trump's decision has damaged those relations?
It is not quite clear. The Egyptian relation between President and the U.S., and mainly between President Donald Trump and President Fattah al-Sisi, seem to be extremely warm. The two leaders have exchanged flattering statements to one another in almost all of their meetings. And it was the first time that we see some sort of criticism from the Egyptian government toward America, or the White House in particular, is when Trump announced his decision regarding Jerusalem. So there is sort of a rejection, but to what extent will it affect the relations? We cannot really, we don't have a clear indication about that, at least not yet. Today we will hear the foreign minister, Egyptian foreign minister Mahrouky's statement, and this will be an indication to what will be going on. But also, Vladimir Putin, the Russian president, is visiting the region and should be in Cairo on Monday, which is an indication that he might be meeting several regional leaders for Palestine, and beside, of course, the normal bilateral ties. But all of these are quite movements that give us some indication that people are upset, the Arab leaders are upset of what America has done.
All right, thank you so much, Adel Al-Mahrouky there in Cairo. And as he says, foreign ministers of the Arab League just arriving now for that emergency meeting in Cairo.